Part 30 in the University Series Philosophical Studies, Dr. Gordon H. Clark, editor, Religion, Reason, and Revelation, the Craig Press, Nutley, New Jersey, part of Presbyterian and Reformed Publishing, copyright 1961. We're on page 40. Then next, even if it could be proved that the universe is an effect, there is another and extremely serious difficulty, though it is but a particular application of Hume's first point. The first point was the principle that no characteristics can be ascribed to the cause beyond those necessary to produce the effects by which alone the cause is known. Now, the observed effects include many evils, disasters, tragedies, and what the Christian calls sin. These can be listed in terrifying profusion. They have been so listed and used against Christianity both by Hume and Mill, as well as by more cynical writers like Voltaire. These manifest evils, from congenitally deformed infants to the torture chambers of Nazis and communists, prevent a conclusion that the cause of the world is good. The cosmological argument totally fails to prove the existence of a just and merciful God. To be sure, it allows, though it does not prove, the existence of a good God, but only on the assumption that he is neither omnipotent nor the cause of all that happens. But the cosmological argument was supposed to deal with the universal cause. As a recourse for Christian theism, therefore, the cosmological argument is worse than useless. In fact, Christians can be pleased at its failure, for if it were valid, it would prove a conclusion inconsistent with Christianity. It is most unfortunate that a large section of conservative Protestantism is unwilling to discuss the justice of God and its relation to the evils of the world. There are devout individuals who seem to suppose that a discussion of evil may put wrong ideas into young heads. Any attempt to explain evil, they hold, is unsettling to the faith. In this they are disobedient to their own standard, the Bible. And beyond this, their viewpoint implies that Voltaire, Hume, Mill, and other opponents of Christianity are and will remain unknown. These well-meaning individuals do not realize that Hume's arguments have been public property since 1776, that millions of people have rejected Christianity because of them, and to stop this loss, it is a Christian duty to meet them squarely. This, I believe, can be done. The problem of evil is not insoluble, but the solution does not depend on rehabilitating the cosmological argument. Charles Hodge tried to do so. Hodge is one of the princes of historic Christianity. As a theologian and exegete, he has had few peers since he left for glory. One might even venture to say that without reading his commentary on the Epistle to the Romans, it is impossible to understand Romans. Though such praise may be a bit of exaggeration, nevertheless his high standing as a theologian must be admitted. But his philosophy is deplorable, particularly his treatment of the cosmological argument. In his Systematic Theology, Volume 1, page 211, Hodge attempts to prove that the universe is an effect. He argues that since all its parts are dependent and movable, the whole must be dependent, because, quote, a whole cannot be essentially different from its constituent parts, unquote. This is not true. For example, Rembrandt's painting called The Night Watch is made up of various pigments and canvas, but the whole is essentially different from its parts. The whole is essentially an aesthetic object. The parts are not. If instead of identifying the parts as pigments in their tubes, we speak of the whole as made up of 2-inch squares of painted canvas, the same remark holds true. None of the 2-inch squares is an aesthetic object, but the whole is one of the greatest paintings in the world.